Edward's ship had crashed 3 months ago on this forsaken desert planet, and he'd been surviving ever since. The former Earth Defense Force pilot had seen plenty of hostile worlds, but Zephyria 7 was different. Its crimson sands stretched endlessly under twin suns, broken only by jagged crystal formations that hummed with an eerie resonance. The locals, the Zephyrians, were a proud species, tall, elegant beings with iridescent skin that shifted colors with their emotions. He'd been tracking what his scanner called a water signature for 2 days, dragging his salvaged equipment through the scorching dunes. When he finally crested the ridge and saw the oasis below, Edward thought he was hallucinating. A river of crystalline water wound through a grove of silver-leafed trees, and in that river, 4 figures were bathing. Edward froze. His military training screamed at him to retreat, but curiosity held him in place. The 4 women were clearly Zephyrian, their skin shimmering between shades of azure and violet. They laughed, splashing water at each other, completely unaware of his presence. Their elaborate jewelry and the ceremonial markings on their shoulders told him these weren't ordinary citizens. Then one of them turned, and her eyes, brilliant gold, locked onto his position. "Intruder," she called out, her voice carrying an unmistakable authority. Edward raised his hands immediately. "I'm unarmed. I mean no harm. My ship crashed, and I've been looking for water." The 4 women exchanged glances, their skin flickering through shades of surprise and suspicion. The one who'd spotted him, clearly the eldest, gestured, and Edward felt an invisible force pull him down the slope. He tumbled into the clearing, landing unceremoniously at the river's edge. "A human," said another sister, younger, with skin that shimmered like moonlight. "I've read about your kind. You're far from Earth." "Very far," Edward admitted, pushing himself up. "Look, I'll leave. I didn't mean to intrude on whatever this is." "You cannot simply leave," the eldest declared, stepping out of the water. A robe materialized around her body. Nanotechnology, Edward realized. "You have seen the royal sisters of House Solmara in our sacred bathing ritual. This is a grievous offense." Edward's heart sank. Of course they were royalty. Of course he'd stumbled into some cultural taboo. "I apologize. On my planet we have similar customs about privacy. I genuinely didn't know this place was sacred." The third sister, with fierce crimson patterns across her cheeks, studied him intently. "He speaks truth. I can sense no deception." "Truth or not, the law is clear," said the 4th and youngest sister. Her voice was softer, almost sympathetic. "Outsiders who witness the royal bathing must either be executed or become bound to our house," the eldest finished, her golden eyes narrowing. "You would serve us until the debt is paid." Edward had faced death before, but something about these 4 women made him pause. Despite their harsh words, there was curiosity in their gazes, and perhaps something more. He'd been alone on this planet for months, and the thought of human contact, even alien contact, was suddenly appealing. "How long would this service last?" he asked. The moonlit sister smiled. "Until we deem the debt satisfied. It could be months. It could be years. Or," Edward said slowly, an idea forming, "I could offer something else, something valuable." The eldest sister raised an elegant eyebrow. "What could a crashed pilot possibly offer the royal house of Solmara?" Edward grinned. "I can build. Before I was a pilot, I was an engineer. I can create a sanctuary here at this oasis. A proper residence with human ingenuity and technology that your world hasn't seen. A place where you could retreat without prying eyes. All I ask in return is permission to stay, access to water, and your protection." The 4 sisters conferred in their musical language, their skin colors shifting rapidly as they debated. Finally, the eldest turned back to him. "You have 1 lunar cycle to prove your worth, human. If your structure impresses us, we will grant your request. If not, execution," Edward finished. "Understood." The youngest sister, the one with the sympathetic voice, stepped forward. "I am Lana," she said. "My sisters are Solara, Kirana, and Vex. What do they call you, human?" "Edward," he replied. "And I promise you, Princess Lana, I won't disappoint." 28 days later, Edward stood back to admire his work. The structure rose from the desert like a fusion of human practicality and Zephyrian aesthetics. He'd used salvaged materials from his ship combined with local crystal formations, creating walls that stored solar energy by day and glowed softly at night. The interior had multiple chambers, each with climate control, and a sophisticated water filtration system connected directly to the river. The royal sisters arrived at sunset, their entourage trailing behind them. Lana gasped when she saw it. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Solara, the eldest, walked through each room, her critical eye examining every detail. The solar panels disguised as decorative crystals, the privacy shields powered by human battery technology, the meditation chamber with acoustic properties that enhanced their ceremonial chants. "This exceeds expectations," Solara finally admitted. "You have honored your word, Edward of Earth." Vex, the fierce one, actually smiled. "Perhaps humans aren't as primitive as the histories claim." Kirana, the moonlit sister, touched a wall panel, activating the holographic star map Edward had installed. "You've given us a piece of your home," she said softly. "The stars you came from." Lana approached Edward, her golden eyes, so like her eldest sister's, filled with genuine warmth. "You've earned your place here, Edward. But I wonder, will you truly be satisfied with just survival?" Edward looked at the four sisters, at the home he'd built in an alien desert, at the possibility of something more than just existing. For the first time since his crash, he felt the stirrings of hope. "Survival is just the beginning, Princess," he said. "I think I'm ready to start living." Lana's skin shimmered a deep, pleased purple. "Good, because we have much to teach you about Zephyria, and perhaps you have much to teach us about humanity." As the twin suns set over the crimson desert, Edward realized his crash landing might have been the best thing that ever happened to him. In trying to escape death, he'd found something worth living for. A new home, unexpected allies, and the promise of adventures yet to come. The human had built his sanctuary in the alien desert, but the royal sisters had given him something far more precious, a purpose and perhaps in time a family among the stars.